I live in an average American home on the end of some street. My name is Aki Dearest. I'm 23 years old. I believe in taking care of myself and no one else. An MSG diet and a minimal exercise routine, if that's what you want to call it. In the morning, if my hair is a little frizzy, I'll tie it up in a ponytail and walk away without a care in the world while I stay distant from society in my bedroom, reading some manga. I've read over 1,000 now. After I decide what I'd like to read next, I begin grabbing a Pocky stick coated with a lemon-flavored frosting. I take approximately 2 bites before flipping to the next page. Or you can get a real job. Hey friends, it's Aki Dearest. There exists a term for those that shut themselves in and isolate themselves from society. A while back, I made a video talking about fujoshi, when I explained what it was and listed their interests. So today, I'm gonna be covering a new term. The Neet! This is an abbreviation for not in education, employment, or training. It's pretty self-explanatory. They give absolutely no contribution to society and have no motivation to do anything except shutting themselves into their own hobbies. They refuse to go to school or get a job, are detached from contributing to society, or have no ambition or interest to do anything really productive. They're like a personified Snorlax. Actually, no, that's not right. Snorlax is only lazy when he sleeps. At least he makes the attempt to listen to you. Or, at the very least, he stood up. So he just lays there and does it at will. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. So this is a term that's been used on multiple characters in anime. I mean, there are still neets all over the place. Not only has anime been using this type of character for so long, but I've also seen it as a way to kind of reach out to neets to kind of break them out of that habit. For example, with a lot of anime in the stories, they take a character that used to be a neet and suck them into a world where they're filled with responsibilities and to be social for the first time in their life. So a popular one would be like No Game No Life. Neets who are genius but only utilize their intelligence into video games are sucked into a world where it's all about solving your problems through games. Subaru from ReZero. Another neet who's sucked into a fantasy world only to live his life again. And again. Enemy double kill. Also with Konosuba, same thing. And then there's also Arata from Real Life, which isn't exactly about somebody pulled into a fantasy world, but someone given the chance to relive his time in high school to do things right again. And then there's still other anime that portray neets in non-fictional ways. So like Alice from Heaven's Memo Pad. She's a neet, but she utilizes her skills and her intelligence to be a really badass detective. Then there's Tatsuhiro Sato from Welcome to the NHK, a neet who tries to fight his way out of isolation. Also, out of all the anime that I've listed so far, I would say that Welcome to the NHK kind of blows everything else away as far as like portraying neets go. So I guess in a lot of ways, anime sort of encourages neets to get out of their bubble and to show them that they can still do something extraordinary with their lives. I mean, granted, they won't be able to be sucked into a fantasy world, but it shows that everyone still has potential. And like I said, neets are just not exclusive into anime, and they're not just exclusive in Japan, but they're pretty much all over the world. It's just a person who does not contribute to education or the economy or anything of the sort. I think the only reasoning that I can give on why neets are portrayed in so much Japanese animation, because in Japan, your work is your life. Japan really values your work habits, your work history, your educational background. They want to make sure that you are a citizen that will do your part in society. So being neets in Japan, you will pretty much be frowned upon as one of the lowest of society. Though as weird as it is to say, the whole existence of neets has given writers a really great base for a lot of character development. I mean, what better way than to take somebody who has accomplished nothing, they're just like this little blob. With Magikarp, there's hope. So maybe that would be a little bit more accurate, unless you guys can think of a better Pokemon. Now granted, there has been a really big decrease in neets lately, especially in Japan, so I don't know if that is because of anime or maybe just life or their society just kind of pushed other things. Now for those of you thinking, am I a neet? Ask yourself the following. 1. Are you doing absolutely jack shit? Number 2. Are you doing absolutely jack shit? Number 3. Are you doing Are you strayed away from being part of society in almost every way, shape, or form, including lacking of having a job or education, staying in your room with a bag of potato chips on one side of the room and all your shit on the other side of the room? Do you have extreme social anxieties that play a part in why you can't socially interact with others? Then wait, in extreme conditions, this puts you under a term called hikikomori. Not exactly the same as Neet, it just happens that a lot of hikokimori are Neets. Hikokimori is a term used for people that quite literally shut themselves away from society. Like they don't socialize whatsoever, which is something that Neets can do. It's just that Neets don't contribute to society. But they can still hit up their friends. They can be like, oh, yo, what's up? While hikokimoris are like, get away! I don't even think that they would say that. It would just be like, so you can still have a job and still be a hikokimori, but if you let your social anxieties get the best of you, then eventually you might actually become a Neet. Or in that case, essentially both. So again, Neets have no problem interacting with society, it's just that they choose not to contribute anything. While hikokimori shut themselves away from interacting with society, but can still have a job and still have an education. However, if they let their social anxieties get the best of them, they might end up... But if you're thinking about becoming a Neet, here's some tips. Number 1, don't. Look, the only reason that I can think that anyone would willingly want to become a Neet, if you got fired or laid off in such a way that prevents you from ever getting hired again, or you failed a really important exam, or maybe you just don't agree with society's standards and you just decide to be your own person. But if you are a Neet or a hikokimori, I would like to attempt to try and help you. Mama Aki will try her best to stretch her hand out to you. Alright, so first off, I know a lot of the times it feels like life just effing sucks 24/7. I know. I mean, obviously I can't speak for you, but I'm guessing maybe you have your days where you're just all like, man, what am I even doing with my life? I don't feel like doing anything. I'm not motivated enough. Society is asking too much from me and I can't keep up, man. But what really helps, and I know it's like easier said than done a lot of times, is change the way you see yourself and the world. Like, you don't have to start off like on the grand scale of things trying to find the meaning of life, just like baby steps. So for example, if you feel like you're a worthless piece of shit, then that's exactly how you're going to live your life, as a worthless piece of shit. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. You're like a marshmallow. You feel like you're just like this little goopy, insignificant, squishy thingamabobber in a bag. Just a little piece of sticky goop. When in reality, you're a sweet ingredient that makes some pretty badass Rice Krispies. And the internet never would have enjoyed a good game of Chubby Bunny if it weren't for you. I'm so bad at this. Number 2, force yourself to interact with people. From personal experience, too much isolation can cause a lot of depression. The more time you spend away from people, the more time that you start diving into the deep end and loneliness and start self-reflecting everything and then start overreacting to everything, overthinking yourself and life, and then you just sort of spiral down the rabbit hole, a place you should have never gone. I mean, granted, it's good having alone time. I personally value my privacy and like being confined into this room and this house more than going outside. And I know there are some content hermits out there that like being isolated from society. Keyword being content with. So use common sense of the fact that this is giving you a negative feeling and you should probably try and get rid of it. I mean, just give it a shot. Try reaching out to people. You won't look stupid at all. Just don't do it the way I did in the last Aki Bento unboxing. Now this is for you Neets and hikokimori out there that watch anime, which I would guess that maybe you do since you're watching this channel right now. Like seriously, if you've watched any of the anime that I've listed, you'll see that the story carries us through this Neet who had nothing to their name and eventually achieving great things. So that's all I'm going to cover today as far as Neets go. So let me know in the comment section down below. Are you a Neet? If you are, stop it! So I appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more anime and otaku related content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!